A special report from News Channel 9.
And good morning, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Christy Casciano.
And I'm Rachel Polanski. We are on the air now to bring you special coverage of Micron's groundbreaking ceremony in the town of Clay.
This is your front row seat to a historic day for all of us in central New York.
Now, before shovels hit the ground, and we're not talking about snow here, we are expecting to hear remarks from Micron CEO Sanjay Mehrotra, U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, Senator Chuck Schumer, Governor Kathy Hochul, and Onondaga County Executive Ryan McMahon.
And there's a live look at the scene where all the magic is about to happen. Those speeches expected to begin at any moment. But first, here's what you need to know. A little background for you. The semiconductor megafab campus will be built right at the White Pine Commerce Park in the town of Clay, right at the corner of Route 31 and Cotnoy Road.
The project launches a 20-year build expected to bring more than 50,000 jobs right here to central New York, and it all begins with crews taking down trees, removing stumps, and building railroad access to bring in all the fill they'll need to level out the site.
And later this year, we do expect contractors to then start pouring and laying down foundations right here at the scene for the first of 4 chip-making fabs.
Now, News Channel 9's Jeff Kulikowski and Andrew Donovan are both at the site for this historic day. They are joining us live now. Jeff, Andrew, what can we expect over this next hour here?
Well, we're already a little bit behind schedule. This was supposed to get going at 11 o'clock, but I think and this is the small event today, Andrew, right? 300 guests and some pretty lofty dignitaries here, so you can imagine the logistics of getting everybody in and out of here is a bit complicated, but it's a big program, but a concise one.
Yeah, I think the schedule was always subject to change. I think the weather probably slowed everyone down just a little extra this morning, but the snow's been shoveled out so they can actually use the shovel for the dirt now. That pile of dirt is set up outside. That will be the spot of the ceremonial groundbreaking. Yes, Jeff, this is the smaller event. There's a big celebration with about 800 people over at Syracuse University later this afternoon, but this is the main event. This is the actual groundbreaking where construction happens. There's construction equipment here. I can't tell if it's decorative construction equipment or what will actually be used.
A little bit of both, I'm thinking. Yeah, staged perfectly as you come into this site here, but I imagine it's going to be used at some point here in the near future.
We're at the spot. That will be the home of the Micron campus. $100 billion, 4 megafabs to be built over the next 20 years. The entire project expected to bring 50,000 jobs to central New York, 9,000 of which will be direct Micron employees working right where we're standing. It's a pretty big place.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned something on the shuttle in, and they shuttled pretty much everybody that's here today in from other locations. This is, I think you said, the farthest I've been in to the site, right? I mean, is it kind of got a little extra special feel, right? We've seen it from the road, we've seen renderings, we've been close, but like, we're kind of here. This is where a fab could sit one day.
You bring up a good point. We're actually in a tent on the dirt.
Yeah.
And this field will become the megafab campus. The furthest we had ever gone for whether it's footage that we show on the newscast or when we're standing out there to report from here, it's Burnett Road. It's the road where homes once lined a few years ago, those homes purchased by the county to be demolished. I'd only been on Burnett Road and seen those homes. They're now demolished, and we were able to drive in, I don't know, at least 100 feet, and we're on the dirt that very well, like you said, could be a megafab campus soon.
So the plan of attack here is to hear from several people. I think Rachel and Christy kind of named most of them. I think maybe Senator Gillibrand, also a few others. I think the list has grown a tiny bit, but from what we understand, and I find this hard to believe, each are going to be given about a minute to make their remarks. And I'm sure they'll try to keep it somewhat concise because, again, the big moment is to get outside and actually throw that dirt in the air and signify the groundbreaking, the beginning of construction out here at this project that will last for years, decades, right?
20 years is the construction timeline. It arguably could shift a little bit, but then decades of work, hopefully, at that point. You bring up a good point that this is supposed to be a brief event. These speakers are given each a minute to speak. They'll probably take 2 to 5 minutes.
Yeah, I think so.
The Syracuse University event later today is when these speakers are allowed to go a little bit longer. We will air that on WSYR Plus, so the more concise speeches we'll hear today live on News Channel 9 when they start in just a few minutes, and then within the hour we'll be outside to watch them all take that first dig into the ground.
I think Andrew and I have been playing a little bit of a game of, did you see who's here?
Where's
right?
Waldo?
I mean, kind of everybody who's in a significant leadership position in Central New York is here. The SU Chancellor is here. We've seen, seeing if we're getting a little announcement if they're going to get everybody into their seats here. But, you know, we've seen Congress people, we've seen former retired Congress people.
Active Congress members. John Katko, the former congressman, is here. I've seen state legislators, both Senate and Assembly side. I've seen the second in command at Micron. I would think the CEO, the first in command, who we will hear from, will come in as announced.
Onondaga County Sheriff, new City of Syracuse Police Chief. I mean, it really is like a who's who of leadership positions here, and rightfully so. This is not just about one particular group. I mean, this is really about Central New York, so well represented.
And it's not just about the town of Clay, even though that's where the campus is. This is meant to be a regional, if not a state project. It's why Micron has offices in downtown Syracuse. It's why the governor and Senator Schumer have been working to build different tech corridors from Buffalo to Albany.
Right.
Albany has a lot of chip making capabilities. Buffalo and Rochester have been in advanced manufacturing for decades. I believe in the State of the State address by the governor earlier this week, she's talking about some downstate chip making capabilities. So chip making, semiconductor manufacturing, really going to be a hopeful hallmark for all of New York State.
Yeah, and I had Rick Reagan on yesterday to talk about kind of the financial side from an investor point of view, and he pointed out to me a couple of things that really blew me away. This is one of the top 3 chip-making companies in the entire world, and they are locating what will become their, if I'm not mistaken, their biggest plant, right? I mean, so you're talking global scale here. Almost $400 billion company right now is landed here in Central New York. So yeah, can they just fit right in this tight little corridor in the town of Clay? No, and that's why I think you've seen the state investment in the green chips. You've seen obviously federal investment there as well. So it's it's a big project.
And Rick Reagan was helpful in helping us digest the earnings report that Micron put out a couple weeks ago about how unexpectedly well their profits are because of this AI boom. A lot of people think, and I'm not an economics guy that deeply, but I know a lot of people fear an AI bubble bust.
Sure.
But right now, AI is booming. We see it on our phones. We see it in our social media feeds every day. Chips made here are memory chips. Memory is a piece of what powers AI infrastructure. So Micron will do well as AI does well, and that means that gives them more of a need to build here. It's not just a pipe dream for Micron.
And along those lines, what Rick was telling me, I think a lot of people have heard of the tech darling NVIDIA booming, right? He told me NVIDIA can't exist without getting chips from Micron to go into their systems for AI. And we are literally just at the very beginning, just scratching the surface of AI technology now. So yeah, the future looks very bright. He said, whether it was timed out or not, what they can see and project in the future or not, the building of this campus with the way AI is really starting to shoot up, the graph is not just kind of gradually, it is spiking, is almost perfect.
And at a time when U.S. politics is so divided, this issue is so united. You'll hear from Republicans and Democrats today. We've already seen Republicans and Democrats in this room. 2 U.S. presidents, 1 Democrat, 1 Republican, have had something to do with getting this project to the next step. Everyone agrees that this is in the best interest of Central New York, of New York State, but also of the United States, because these chips do have a lot to do with the defense infrastructure. The military will buy these chips. When America might be worried about technology made in other countries like China, making it in America is better for national security. People remember during the pandemic, some of the supply chain issues, the inability to buy vehicles because chips are in vehicles. Having those chips made in America help American automakers get the chips quicker and produce an entirely American vehicle.
Yeah, it's just really impressive to see. And I think, this is obviously just the tiniest piece of it, this event right here. But, when you pull in and you see it and you see the way it's set up and the guests that are here, you kind of get that real shot in the arm of, yeah, this is a real deal. And this is happening now. We've talked about it, we've heard about it, we've planned it, and there's still a lot to go, right? There's many steps to this process. There's going to be a lot more of planning and approvals and things like that, but this is such a monumental step today for this project.
We are getting another announcement behind us, which will be our best guidance on when we can tell you that we'll be hearing from speakers momentarily. But if you're just joining us, let's remind people where we're at. We're at the White Pine Commerce Park in the town of Clay, just off of the Caudnoy Road area. We are on the site where Micron will formally break ground within the hour. Before that, though, we expect to hear from dignitaries, the Micron CEO, elected leaders, at what we're told is a brief ceremony inside this tent before a much longer ceremony later today at Syracuse University. We know we'll hear from Micron's CEO. We know we'll hear from 2 cabinet members of the Trump administration, the president nor the vice president able to be here, but sent 2 cabinet members, which is an impressive stat in itself. We'll hear from both of New York senators, Chuck Schumer and Kirsten Gillibrand. We know that Senator Schumer has had a lot to do with the passage of the CHIPS legislation that brought Micron to America and that eventually brought Micron to New York State. We also expect to hear from the governor and the Onondaga County Executive Ryan McMahon.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, cabinet members, so specific in commerce and labor, right? Commerce is really what essentially helps fund this whole project on the federal level. They have to do a number of the approvals and things like that, and you can understand why a labor secretary might be here. We're talking how many thousands of direct jobs, tens of thousands of spin-off jobs on top of that, construction jobs. It just kind of keeps going and going and going. And while this may be ceremonial, this groundbreaking, they're going to get started. I wouldn't be shocked if they started Monday on moving ground out here. They have a tight window because of 2 endangered bat species that they have to get out of the way by the end of March, correct? So they got to get a lot of work done. And then dig dirt now, and then they're going to really get after it.
And then to cash in on the federal incentives, the finances, they need to have some level of foundation poured by the end of the year.
Correct.
So you'll see tree clearing very quickly to make sure that they follow the environmental requirements related to endangered species, and then you'll see ground flattening, soil being brought in to flatten this surface. They cannot use the native ground here. They have to truck and train, and I should say using trains.
The rail spur that we've heard so much about.
You mentioned the 2 cabinet members that will be here, both appointed by President Trump. That also shows the continuity of this project, that it was 2 people in their positions under the Biden administration that saw this get started and now continued under these 2 current members who we'll hear from.
Yeah, no, it is impressive, like you said, the group, just kind of glancing back and seeing everybody kind of getting in their seats, so that's a good sign that hopefully we'll start to see some of the dignitaries move in here shortly. But back to the work at this site and this year that you were describing, the county executive, Ryan McMahon, threw this number out at me and Christy in a recent interview. $1 billion worth of work out here in this first year. If you had a $1 billion project, and that was the whole project in Central New York, you'd be shooting off fireworks and people would be having celebratory events like this. $1 billion is just to basically get the site ready for the bigger projects once they get that fabs going.
$1 billion to basically turn this from a field into a construction site.
I guess $1 billion out of when you consider this is supposed to be a $100 billion project.
1%. Yeah, that's 1%. But you bring up a good point. The county executive, who will join me on Newsmakers at 12:30 this afternoon, brought up the same point that any other company announcing a $1 billion project from start to finish, including the stickers on the windows, incredible. That's just to turn this from a forest into a workable construction site.
The other point that I thought was interesting that the county executive made to me too is that, again, ceremonial, so people will get their funny hard hats and they'll have their gold shovels or whatever they'll have. But he said this really signifies to all those supply chain companies, and he had a recent trip with some other, Rob Simpson from Center State CEO, some others at a big tech conference in Japan back in December, and they basically said the groundbreaking's happening, and you need to get on board now. You need to put your name essentially on the dotted line here and say, you're coming to be one of these supply chain companies to support Micron because it's happening.
Jeff, I'm just told now that we're seeing our first images of those dignitaries speaking. The Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer has just entered the room. The Onondaga County Executive Ryan McMahon is also here. Those are two of the people we expect to hear from at the podium today. That makes me believe that the program will begin imminently and that quickly we will see the governor and perhaps the Micron CEO as we see the first of two dignitaries enter the room, Jeff.
Yeah, and people kind of taking your seats, as you said, and hopefully things kind of move along, because I love listening to you. You love listening to me. Hopefully you all love listening to us, but we're here to hear from the governor and from the senators and from the CEO of Micron and the labor secretary and the commerce secretary, who have such important things to say.
You know, Christy and Rachel are back at the Bridge Street studio. I just wonder, as they're hearing us talk, we are hearing that the governor is in the room too. I was going to bring in Christy and Rachel, who are welcome to join the conversation, to wonder if they have any questions about what's going on as they watch us and hear from us too. But we have been told that Governor Hochul has entered the room, and so we think that this will begin pretty imminently.
Ryan, we actually see Ryan McMahon. We see Governor Kathy Hochul right now, Andrew and Jeff, and she's making her way, it looks like, to the podium. Quite a number of officials there. Senator Chuck Schumer also now in the gathering there as we focus on the dignitaries right now. We're going to get up and make a speech momentarily and share with all of us what this moment means for Central New York.
And again, it is a historic day, the largest semiconductor manufacturing facility in U.S. history. And yep, we're looking, Governor Kathy Hochul right there. It looks like they will be starting any moment now.
Right, we're told that these speeches that they're going to make are going to be pretty quick because it's a long day today.
Right, and
so after this event, after the ceremonial groundbreaking, the shovels in the ground, they're going to make their way right to Syracuse University. And there will be more of this ceremony going on with more in-depth speeches. So this is going to be quick.
That's right. Yeah. And you can see there some of the renderings behind them there. Micron plans to eventually build 4 chip factories in Clay, total cost of $100 billion. Take it away, Jeff and Andrew.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning. Thank you. Please, please, please. This morning I looked out the hotel window and I saw snow and somewhat gloomy weather, but this has been wonderful. As we were walking in, sun was shining, and that is a perfect day for this region, for New York, for the country, and of course for Micron. This is a historic moment, launching with the groundbreaking mega site for semiconductor memory construction in the future. So super excited. And while it might be cold out there, the energy from this group, and I really felt that energy and that love, really appreciate it, is just simply incredible. It's incredible for everything that we're going to be doing here. I'm going to try to keep my comments here at the site short so that we can later continue in more detail in the cozy environment of the Syracuse University auditorium. Secretary Lutnick, Secretary DeReamer, Governor Hochul, Senator Schumer and Gillibrand, Representatives Mannion, Tenney, Morelli, Stefanik, and Tonko, County Executive McMahon, Supervisor Ulatowski, and Mayor Owens. Thank you. Without what you have done with your support, Micron would not be here. Leading edge memory manufacturing would not be here. So I really, from the bottom of my heart, and on behalf of 55,000 Micron team members, and certainly our esteemed board members, I want to thank you. And I think it's just amazing to see, standing here together, shoulder to shoulder, sending a powerful message. It shows that when it comes to restoring American manufacturing and leadership in that manufacturing, we are clearly one team. That's fantastic. My first visit to this site happened, I was remembering this morning, 4 years ago to the day. It was January of 2022. We visited this location when we were determining where to build in all of the USA. Today, we are breaking ground and making the beginning of a transformation. On the fields today, there is snow and soil, but in your mind's eye, I want you to see what is coming. Imagine the mega fabs that will be built here, each of them size of 10 football fields. That's what's going to be here, and over time, there will be 4 of them. And we expect in 4 years' time to start production in the very first fab that we are going to be building here. We are officially setting the stage for a site that will power the AI revolution with the world's most advanced memory. On these fields, we will rise vertically to build multiple ultra-pure clean rooms, and more than just factories, they will be amongst the most sophisticated manufacturing sites, precision manufacturing, nothing like any other manufacturing in the world that will be conducted right here, first of its kind in the US history. This site will soon hum with activity. It will become a thriving technology hub, generating tens of thousands of jobs here, transforming the region. And of course, we will work with the community and super excited about the opportunities that are ahead for the community. We are laying the groundwork for a future where central New York will be the heartbeat of AI economy. And getting to this moment took amazing amount of tenacity, collaboration, and a shared belief in what this site would become. I'm telling you, this is just a start. Best is yet to come. Congratulations, everybody.
Please welcome to the stage United States Secretary of Commerce, Howard Lutnick.
Thank you, everyone. It is great to be in central New York, which, of course, you all know is the heart of Trump country. Look, it's a historic day today because this fab, mega fab, is going to be the largest investment in the history, the largest single investment in the history of the great state of New York. So imagine that being right here, rebuilding and growing in the heart of Syracuse. That's fantastic. But let's make no mistake about it. We're here today because of the core drive from President Trump. See, this groundbreaking only got scheduled at the end of December because the Trump administration cleared out all of the environmental and other things that tend to get in the way. I'm sure you all know the names of the bats that were in the way of this $100 billion plant that is going to change the lives of tens of thousands of people here. And that's the problem, is we had to get this done in 8 months, working hard and close with the company to clear the path and effectively clear the trees that were in the way to allow this to happen. Yesterday, we announced a Taiwan deal, which allows Taiwan is going to invest $500 billion in America to bring semiconductor manufacturing here. And one of the drivers of this investment, right, is that Micron produces their memory, the greatest memory in the world, in Southeast Asia, and we want it here. So that it's that tariff model, started with the chips, and then driven by the tariff model, right, to bring manufacturing here. When I walked into my office, the deal was Micron was going to build $75 billion in America and was going to receive $6.1 billion. A good start. Now, Micron, in negotiating with the Trump administration and myself, has committed $200 billion of US investment, 100 billion right here, right? Another 50 billion additional 50 billion in Boise, and then they're gonna bring their R&D here to make sure we are building the high bandwidth memory, the key to the future of AI right here in America. So we did it quickly, we did it in Trump time. It would have taken years and years if we didn't cut through the red tape and smash through it. So this is where the Trump administration and great American industry meet to produce outcomes that are fundamental for America. Congratulations, Sanjay. Congratulations to Syracuse. This is greatness. Thank you all.
Please welcome to the stage United States Secretary of Labor Lori Chavez de Reamer.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here today as your 30th Secretary of Labor. I want to first say hello to my former colleagues in the House. It's nice to see you all. Thank you for the work that you have all done. Thank you to the senators, and thank you to the local elected officials, oftentimes, and executives who get this done and work with not only our state partners, but federal partners, and certainly with the administration. Today, we celebrate a landmark moment in American manufacturing. This semiconductor plant will be the United States' largest, as Howard said, based right here in New York. I'm especially proud to witness Micron's commitment to the American worker through the largest construction project labor agreement in U.S. history. This agreement puts American workers first by guaranteeing an estimated 50,000 jobs right here in this community. These are mortgage-paying jobs that will provide fair benefits for hardworking families. In addition, Micron's $250 million investment in the workforce development will cultivate that skilled pipeline of American talent, equipping our labor force with the knowledge and skills they need to drive the future of American AI dominance. Protecting American manufacturers, empowering our innovators, and supporting our workers is definitely a top priority of this administration. We at the Labor Department applaud the investments in the American innovation and the American worker. It is my honor to be here on behalf of President Trump. Congratulations, Micron. Congratulations for the team that you have built and all the partners that will now stand up and take their place right here in New York and in the United States of America. So for all of those who helped today, thank you. It's an historic investment in the American economy. Thank you.
Please welcome to the stage New York Governor Kathy Hochul.
I don't know, this might be Hochul country. And just saying. And I am here on behalf of 20 million very excited New Yorkers to welcome Micron to their new home. Sanjay, thank you for making it happen. And our Secretaries of Commerce and Labor, thank you for your presence. I also want to thank my partner in this endeavor. Lots of long, hard-fought conversations to make sure this got over the finish line. Ladies and gentlemen, our minority leader, but next year majority leader, Chuck Schumer. Senator Kirsten Gillibrand, another great partner driving economic development. And our county executive, Brian McMahon, for his partnership making this happen. Our members of Congress, our state and federal elected officials, the local officials. I spent 14 years on a town board, so our supervisor of Clay. Let's give a round of applause to our local officials. And I'm going to give myself an extra 30 seconds in my 3 minutes because I need to have my commissioners stand up. These are the ones who are making sure the environmental reviews are done, that the economic development incentives are there, that transportation is done, we build the housing, and we find you the labor force. They're all right there. That is my dream team. Now, this says memory made in America. I'm saying we're going to make memories here in upstate New York, because my memory of upstate New York goes back very long. And I'm probably the only one in the room who can describe what it was like when you grew up in a steel town like Buffalo. All the jobs left in the 70s. Bethlehem Steel was shutting down a few years later. Our manufacturing was being killed and shipped overseas. Grandpa worked at the steel plant. My dad worked at the steel plant. Everybody we knew either made cars or steel. And all of a sudden, we were knocked down hard. And the same thing was happening in Syracuse. When I came to Syracuse University in the 70s, and we were losing the major manufacturing that we had relied on that had defined our upstate for so long. So to live long enough and to have been able to facilitate this dream come true, to launch the rebirth of manufacturing in the state of New York, I could not be prouder. And on behalf of all those whose dreams were dashed, who gave up hope, this is the day we rise up, New York. This is a signal to the rest of the world and to all the great national and international companies who are the partners here today. What are you waiting for? Come to New York. This is where you want to be. And to our labor community, the men and women of labor who are going to build this, who made the deal get done, Greg Lancet, the building trades. I will close with this. I'm going to give a hell of a lot longer speech this afternoon. Sanjay mentioned a cold day 4 years ago in January. I knew you were here. I heard that this could be once in a lifetime, once in a generation opportunity. So against all the advice of my staff, I got on a small plane during a snowstorm, convinced the pilots to fly me here because I said, I'm not missing the chance to sit down with the CEO of Micron. He may not be back again. So I came here. We're supposed to have a 15, 20-minute meeting. We stayed for 3 hours. And I said, I am not leaving till I get this man to say yes. And I said, I will make it worth your while. He says, well, I'm going to need 9,000 engineers. Done. I'm going to need this. I said, I will do anything to make this deal happen. And when President Biden and Chuck Schumer figured out how to create and unlock billions of dollars with the CHIPS and Science Acts, I knew that that meant industry could go anywhere in the country, but I needed to give New York an advantage. Literally 2 days later, the legislators, and I thank them for their support, and I signed into New York's first ever Green CHIPS and Science Act, unleashing over $6 billion to make Micron become a reality. That's what getting stuff done is all about. We are overjoyed today. Thank you, thank you, thank you for everybody making this happen. And for those who may not be familiar with the culture of upstate New York, you never leave an event like this without saying, go Bills. Let's bring it home, Buffalo.
Please welcome to the stage Senate Democratic Leader Charles Schumer.
Well, good morning, everybody. Now, when I first came here 7 years ago, I said we were going to get this done. We didn't hear of Micron. The CHIPS and Science Act was just a dream. And here we are. So today, I am orange. From head to toe. Ryan knows this because I did it first when he was here. And I want to say, when Ryan and McMahon and I visited this site in Clay, it was just a twinkle in people's eye that we might get anything here. But I want to give him some thanks because he really helped prepare this site and make it shovel-ready and did the great things that should be done. And folks, you know what my dream was? To make I-90 our semiconductor superhighway. And within 10 years, folks, 25% of the advanced semiconductor microchips will be made along the I-90 corridor in upstate New York. And the linchpin of that was getting Micron. And you don't know how many hours I spent with Sanjay arguing back and forth, pushing and pulling, reaching him in China, reaching him in Boise, and said, you've got to do this, but we're going to make it right for you. And we brought in everybody, the state government, the local governments, the county governments, and said, we will be a team. And we are. So today is just a day of incredible history. We will look back, generations will look back 20, 30 years from now and say this was a turning point for Central New York, for upstate New York, and for the United States of America, because what's happening here is going to give the United States the lead in semiconductor manufacturing for generations. It's going to affect our children, our grandchildren. So we're making history. We're making history. When I first put together the CHIPS and Science Act, which made this happen, made all of this happen, I envisioned a day like today, where the great companies, one of the greatest companies, not just one of the greatest chip manufacturing companies, one of the greatest companies, period, Micron, would come here and make it their linchpin. And so, wow, this is going to be the largest manufacturing construction site in America. This is going to be the largest memory chip manufacturing site in America. And because of Micron's skill, we're going to make sure we beat the South Koreans and become the largest memory chip manufacturing site in the world. And we didn't let partisanship get in the way here. There are a lot of us who were here for the last 5, 6, 10 years toiling. But now there's a new administration. Yeah, there's one clap for that. Not too many. But we are working together seamlessly to make this happen. Because getting this done is not Democratic, it's not Republican, it's not independent. It's America, it's Syracuse, it's orange. So it's the dawn of a new day. Not only in Syracuse, but in Rochester, in Buffalo, in Albany, in Utica. Young people are returning home. They see opportunity, they see jobs, they see a future. That's what's happening. And what a turnaround that has been. This is now a region not of pessimism and hand-wringing and sadness, but a region of optimism and smiles and faith in the future. So, Micron, thank you, Sanjay. We've become great friends over the years. To our secretaries, thank you for coming. To the governor, who's been a great partner. When I called her about this originally, immediately she saw how exciting this was. To my partner, Senator Gillibrand, and as I said, to the guy who started it with me, with a vision in clay, to our great county executive, Ryan McMahon, as well as our whole congressional delegation. 2 words. The second one is you. The first one is thank. Thank you, everybody. Today is a great, 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 great day, and we are excited.
Please welcome to the stage Onondaga County County Executive J. Ryan McMahon.
Wow. What a day. What a moment. So proud of all of you and what together we've accomplished. Welcome to the White Pine Business Park, home of the greatest memory technology company in the world, an American company, Governor, a New York company, and to all of us, an Onondaga County company. Micron is the anchor to what is a critical central New York semiconductor cluster. And I want to thank all of their customers and their suppliers and their team members for being here. As you have seen, listening to some of us politicians, success has 1,000 authors. And some wear red and some wear blue. Today we wear the red, white, and blue. And I want to acknowledge some of these folks, specifically Sanjay, to you, your team, the board, thank you. Thank you for putting your trust in your company's largest investment in this community. And we will be the partners, not just today through this process, but moving forward. Mr. Secretary, I know you miss New York. I know you miss snow. We ordered you some snow. The funny thing is we have a competing cluster in the country, maybe competing, maybe complimenting, in Phoenix, Arizona. I was out there recently and I said, how the hell do people live here? This is better. Know what that snow means for the industry partners? That means water, lots of water for you. Madam Secretary, thank you for working to help us superpower the workforce for this industry and for tomorrow, making this all work. This is about the American worker and opportunity, so thank you. Senator Schumer, Senator Gillibrand, you've been there. Senator, you've been there in the beginning of this. You're right. When this wasn't really a popular decision and a popular endeavor, you were always there for me and for this community, so thank you for that. Senator, thank you for all your support. To our House delegation members, I'm going to give you some big shout-outs when we get to SU when I have more time. I appreciate everything you have done to make this work. Governor, you told this story, which I think was a pivotal moment. You were new to the job. I don't believe your predecessor would have taken that meeting. If you didn't take that meeting, there's no way that we're here today. I want to thank you and the state for putting together the ability to get the policies with the federal government policies to help make this industry come home. To your team that helped permit this, thank you. Hope, Kevin, all the work we've done, thank you. Really incredible. And then I want to give a couple shouts to the Micron team that's been working on this, to Manish Bhatia, April Arnzen, Scott Gatzmeyer, Bo Machayo, Carson Henry, Joe Nemi, and so many others. Thank you for helping us get to where we are and believing with us. At the local level, I got to give some shout outs real quick. You were here when this wasn't popular. You were here when they were writing editorials saying this was a bad idea, but you stuck with me. And you stuck with the vision. To the county legislators that are here today, I believe May Burtis, Kevin Meeker, Cody Kelly in the town of Clay, thank you. You've been there. For all the other elected officials, to make this all work, we're going to need you to stay with us. The town of Clay, Supervisor Yolotowski, Deputy Supervisor Joe Bick, thank you for the work that you've done. The reality is that this project is so big. The moment is so big. The opportunities are so big that we need everybody, and that is our workforce partners too. I want to give shout outs to Rob Simpson, Randy Wilkin, Chancellor Severud, Dr. Warren Hilton, President Linda Lee Mura, and all the other universities, all the other regions that are here. I'll give you all more praise later. But the moment isn't just getting this done. The moment is making sure that Micron continues to grow and be the world leader. To make that happen, we need the supply chain. We will give them the world-class infrastructure. We will build it here in New York. The governor is working on world-class energy. We will have that for you here in New York. And this is truly about the American worker and opportunity. But the reality is this is about the national security of this country first and foremost. And by this investment here today, America will lead the world in AI dominance, and that means the world will literally be a safer and better place. So thank you to everyone in this room. If you didn't play a role, you wouldn't be here. God bless you.
Please welcome to the stage Senator Kirsten Gillibrand.
So today, obviously, is a day of deep gratitude for the people who have had vision over the last 2 decades for what upstate New York could look like again, the people who had the executive capabilities to get things done and to bring the right people together, and the people who are willing to put their money there and to actually invest in upstate New York. So I just want to thank Sanjay for your willingness to partner with New York State, to partner with all of us here, with our amazing people who are going to build these incredible chips, to the entrepreneurs and innovators that are going to create value-added businesses across all of upstate New York, and to your willingness to take all the risks that it took to do this vision. I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being that risk taker and being that decision maker. To our amazing Governor, you have always had a vision for upstate New York, like my grandparents, also in manufacturing at GE and at Atlantic Cement. When you're from upstate, you know how hard we work, how much we want to build things, how we have so much pride in Made in America right here in New York State. And so you captured that vision every step of the way, Governor, and you never let go of it. And I'm just so grateful that you had the vision to bring this to fruition. And to my partner, Senator Schumer, who I'm so proud of you, Senator Schumer, because I remember when he started writing this legislation, he had this vision as a guy from downstate to say, what does upstate New York need most? It needs jobs. It needs innovation. It wants to absolutely celebrate the entrepreneurialism and spirit of hardworking upstate New Yorkers. And he knew that this corridor, this I-90 corridor, would be the future. Not only did he make this investment right here in Syracuse, in Clay, but he also worked on the Albany corridor to make sure Global Foundries could add billions and billions of dollars of jobs there as well. This has been his life's work. And I watched him as his partner, making sure I could deliver the Republican votes he needed to get the money when they weren't sure why they should be investing in chip manufacturing. I can tell you, they thought, well, yeah, sure, we need it for cars. But what they didn't understand is what the county executive said, this is absolutely necessary for our national security. This is 100% necessary so the United States can lead the future in AI, in supercomputing, in quantum. That is what this technology ultimately allows. And all of the scientists and all of the engineers and all of the incredible minds that are going to gravitate towards this technology is the future of the United States. So thank you, Senator Schumer, for having that heart for upstate to know that this matters. And to our county executive and all of our local House members that are here, labor unions, and everyone else who is part of this vision. It is true we have so many mothers and so many fathers, but just as the county executive said, none of this would happen without any one piece of you. So I just want to add my gratitude and my pride in what New York can do and what will be done right here at Micron. God bless you all.
We will now transition to the ceremonial groundbreaking. Please exit the tent through the doors to the left and find a space outside. If you'd rather watch from inside, you may line up against the window wall.
You're watching live coverage of the Micron groundbreaking, and while we're waiting for all the dignitaries to file out of that toasty tent and dig up some dirt, we just want to give you a quick recap about what you just heard, a historic day here in Central New York. Starting things off was Micron's Chief Executive Officer, Sanjay Mehrotra. He confirmed that in 4 years, they will be making chips at that very site. He went on to say, this is just the start, and the best is yet to come.
Yeah, I also liked he said just about 4 years ago, he was here at this site touring it, which is just really cool to see. Now, after him was 2 members of President Trump's cabinet, also here for the groundbreaking, of course, Secretary of Commerce Howard Lutnick, saying this will be the largest investment in the history of the great state of New York. Then Labor Secretary Lori Chavez-DeRemer, also in attendance, calling today a landmark moment in American manufacturing.
We also heard from New York Governor Kathy Hochul, who has been there from the start, and she pointed to the sign that was at the podium, which said Micron Memory Made in America, and Hochul said, let's make memories here in Central New York, that the project being launched is the rebirth of manufacturing in Central New York, and that this is where you want to be, saying that she's overjoyed today.
Yeah, it really was pretty powerful stuff there. And of course, the colorful Senator Chuck Schumer sporting one color today, Christy.
That would be orange.
That's right. Head to toe, his tie and his socks, and he says that Micron will be the largest semiconductor manufacturing site in America. Now, he wants to beat the South Koreans and become the largest in the world.
Right, that's just a quick recap, much more to come. Our Andrew Donovan is right there outside of the tent now as they're about to grab those shovels. And I'm not sure if they're wearing hard hats this time, Andrew. A little bit of snow on the ground, so they're gonna be kicking up some snow as well as dirt, I imagine.
Well, Christy, they had to do a lot of shoveling of snow before they can do any shoveling of dirt. It looks like the mound of soil is well manicured, no snow mixed in. I'm thinking they either had it protected or perhaps poured it after the snow fell. But any moment now, we expect the same group of leaders you heard from a moment ago put on their coats, leave the heated tent to come out, grab a shovel. We know there will be a series of ceremonial shovel moments. At first, it'll be a core group of leaders, probably the same people you heard from, but then other groups will have a chance to grab a shovel and do another shovel toss. It's ceremonial. It might be even a little shticky, but it is so representative of the work that's about to happen here at the White Pine Commerce Park in the town of Clay, the beginning of 20 years of construction. You can see the construction vehicles are here. Yes, they'll be the background of the photos today, but they will get to work in the days and weeks ahead. And if you see me turning to look over my shoulder, I'm waiting for what we will all watch together, which are these dignitaries probably taking a deep breath after speaking for a little bit and eventually getting on coats and grabbing shovels to take the first shovelful of dirt, toss it in that fun celebratory fashion. You heard the excitement in everyone's voices. You heard the pride that this project has come this far, that it's finally at this groundbreaking point. You heard the bipartisanship. Yes, there were some partisan jabs, Trump country, Hochul country, but overall it was a bipartisan message. You have multiple representation from members of both sides, both Republicans and Democrats. And again, we're watching that same group, watching for them to come outside and grab a shovel. And I'll have our photographer, Will Hool, just give us a closer look at this setup right now. You see this pile of soil, no snow mixed in. They either protected it or poured it later, but it looks nice. You can almost see the striking difference, right? You can see the snow and the dirt, and what a contrast. You see the shovels in their nice, very nice stands that I'm not sure construction crews actually ever use. And their shovels never look that clean because they're always working, but these are the ceremonial ones that in a moment we'll see the governor, senators, the county executive, others, the CEO, grab a shovel, throw a little bit of dirt, and as I said, that will rotate a few times. There will be different groups going in and out. One of the people that didn't speak but does get a lot of credit for this coming to Central New York is Congressman John Katko. He's inside where Jeff Kulikowski is standing by to speak with him. Jeff.
Thank you, Andrew. Retired Congressman John Katko. I don't like to call you former. You're retired.
I like retired, yes.
What does it feel like for you? You were there at kind of the beginning of this process, so you didn't get a chance to speak up on stage. We'd have maybe later. But what does this day feel like to you?
Well, it's just pride because it's the ultimate in teamwork. And that's, I think, what's the best thing about this is I don't think people understand. And you heard some snippets of it today up there from Senator Schumer and Ryan and others. Federal, state, and local, Republicans, Democrats, whatever, got together for the good of the country, because it's a national security issue to have chip manufacturing here, number one, and for good of Central New York. And this is the end result. And I don't think people understand how much money's been coming in here, the jobs. This is one of the greatest things to happen to Syracuse since the Erie Canal, and it was done in a very bipartisan manner. And that, I think, is, in this day and age, is a really good message for everyone to understand.
As somebody who's obviously been on the inside in Washington, D.C., we just go, oh, and they wrote a CHIPS Act, and it was great, and that's what helped us get by. What's it like? Because I'm sure pretty much every other congressperson and senator in the country wants to write that kind of bill to bring a Micron-type company there. So to secure that kind of thing, what's it like behind the scenes in D.C.?
It's like making sausage. Part making sausage, part wrestling match. And you just get it done, and you work, and you work, and you work, and you work together. And Senator Schumer did a very good job doing the lead on it, and we all helped shepherd it through the House, and it was great teamwork, and that's what it's all about. But it was tough, but it's obviously going to be very, very well worth it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Good
you.
to see you. Appreciate it. Go out there and see if they'll let you shovel dirt.
There you go. Take care.
All right. Be good. Andrew?
Well, Jeff, we're still waiting for those people that we expect to have a shovel come outside with their jackets on. We heard from a lot of people inside. Now they've got to switch from their suit coats or their other jackets to their winter jackets because there is snow. And here comes some of that group right now. Let's see, we have April Arnzen on the far left. She's the Chief People Officer for Micron. Manish Bhatia is the second in command at Micron in the red jacket. We see Senator Kirsten Gillibrand. We see the Onondaga County Executive, who I guess is brave enough to not wear an overcoat. He's in just his normal suit. We have got Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer in his orange tie that he showed off from the podium a few moments ago. Governor Kathy Hochul in her green jacket. In the tan jacket next to her is Sanjay Mehrotra, the CEO of Micron. Okay, now Ryan McMahon is getting his overcoat, I guess, to match the group. And then you see on the end two cabinet members from the Trump administration, the Commerce Secretary and the Labor Secretary. This is the same group we heard from a few moments ago at the podium inside, and this is the group, and let's listen in and watch.
All right. 1, 2, dig, smile, up, and talk. One, two, dig, up, and talk. All right, Sanjay.
So, Mr. Excavator, start digging and get this $100 billion project, largest manufacturing site in America going.
Far to your left. Well, there you have it. That was a surprise to all of us, I think, that one of the excavators was ready to do a little more than just a shovel's worth of dirt, putting a load of dirt into that Micron branded truck. But you see the dignitaries, after having done that first shovel toss of dirt, standing for some photos, perhaps exchanging some conversation. You see the governor and Senator Gillibrand speaking there. We know more people will be brought in here to do another shovel toss. This is something so many people want to be involved in. So we expect members of the state legislature, members of Congress. You see New York senators there, but there are several members of Congress that I imagine will be part of a photo. But I guess this same group is going to continue having fun with this. This is a fun moment for all the hardworking people that have a.
Download the WSYR Plus app on your TV to stream News Channel 9 for free. Just go to your smart TV, search WSYR Plus in the App Store, and download to start streaming today.